Boy, what is this?
15,
15.
I think.
I don't even know. Welcome to whatever number episode this is. 15. Or
15.
16. Either way, whichever one it is, I'll cut one out.
Oh, wait. Because I'm pretty sure because Yeti was 13.
And so cereal was 14.
15, yes. So it was 15.
Okay.
Okay.
It's
Gotcha.
15. Welcome. Welcome to episode 15 of Brunch and Judge.
Hi, friends.
Hi, friends. We're your hosts. I'm April.
And I'm Claire.
And welcome to our midweek recording episode of Brunch and Judge, in which we both just got off work. So, yay.
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 Not gonna lie. I'm literally sitting here in my PJs and don't care.
I'm still I literally took off my librarian cardigan.
Oh, okay. You're like, I
Before
literally just got home.
Like, I just took it off. I ran in the door, and I'm like, gotta go. I made some tea.
You're like, I have to go right now.
Like, I gotta record. I gotta go. But yes, so. Oi, what a week.
And it's only Wednesday.
Oi. Oh, God.
I know. Indeed.
Okay, then. Well, Claire, what are you judging this week?
I don't even know. To be honest, there are so many things. I don't know. But right off the top of my head, this whole Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial.
I'm so over it.
Same. All these people on Facebook are like, oh my God, I don't know what I'm going to do because it was off for a week. And I'm just like, I don't care. I feel like, honestly, they're both pretty crappy people.
Right? I'm like, they're both not great. And I don't particularly care who started it at this point.
And
I mean, they both were, but I honestly, I love Johnny Depp, I do. But I feel bad for Amber because everyone has turned on her because they love him so much that I'm like, a lot of people are in these bad situations and she could be telling you the truth. Maybe there are a couple of instances that she's got the dates wrong or something because I don't keep track of how many times, my boyfriend does anything. So.
And also, I mean, I feel like it also brings into light that, yes, men can be victims of spousal abuse or, abuse.
But
it's
the thing
true.
that makes me crazy is when they're like comparing Amber Heard to somebody else. And they're like, well, she got beat up by her boyfriend. She had to take a whole week off because she looks so bad. But here she is. Next day, she's doing an interview. And I'm like, don't compare traumas. That's not cool.
No.
Don't do that. You don't know. The reality is none of us will ever truly know. We'll never be
because we're not there.
100% sure what really went on and how they got to this place.
Absolutely.
So,
and I feel like everybody
they are toxic as fuck for each other, and they need to get the hell away.
I know. It's just like, just be done with it. Just leave and get out and be away from each other. Just quit dragging the rest of the world in it. That's how I feel. I'm just over it. Because I mean, I like I said, I feel like they're both like equally kind of crappy people.
Yeah, that's.
And I know that he's lost a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? Not sponsors, but they're not sponsoring him, but he's
lost a lot of films and things. No more Harry Potter,
like advertising and all that. I cannot think of the word for that. Words are hard today, guys.
No judgment.
In fact, words are so hard. My sister-in-law sent me a video of my 5-year-old niece trying to say the word library because she kept saying library.
No, you gotta beat that out of them young.
No, she's
when
trying.
They are grown ups.
Like, she was actually
to my library. I
know.
Go insane.
No, she was trying, and it was just. But then when she did get the bruh sound, it turned into librarily, like an extra L.
I'm better. That's fine. I'll take that over library. We're not a berry.
Yeah, it was just like, oh.
Don't bury me.
And then my nephew was like, you're not saying it right. And then my sister-in-law was like, well, how about you say it? And then he did. So she was like, oh, okay. Because
like,
I think
prove it.
I know, right? It's like, well, can you say it correct? Because quit giving your sister a hard time. But yeah, she was like library, and my sister-in-law is like, no, no, library, and then she would go librarily, and I was just cracking up listening to it because it's just not.
I
I
mean,
messaged her back, and I was just like, words are
here for
hard,
it.
kid. Words are hard.
Well, and how old is she? You said 5?
She's 5.
Well, so
She's in
from
kindergarten.
like 5 until maybe like 9 or 10, I couldn't even say my R's. So I
I
went to
know it was
speech therapy a
little
lot.
words like rural.
I can say rural now. Look at
I know,
me.
but you know what I'm
Look
saying.
at
Like
me. What?
rural is one of those
Rural.
words where it's like, bah.
Yeah. But I
But
come
yes,
across words all the time that I'm like, I can't get this word out of my mouth. It is
right,
impossible. I'm sorry. And then someone else will
right,
say it, and I'm like, hate you.
right.
It's like, show off.
I know. But yes, words are hard. But anyway, he's lost a lot of gigs, a lot of
Yeah.
jobs,
But I
because of
mean,
all this.
I think ultimately she kind of has too. She's had a lot of
Yes,
stuff
I mean,
cut,
I
and
feel like
it's bad for both of them. It's
right.
bad.
Yeah,
And it's
it's been
because,
equally bad for both of them. I feel like they're both equally crappy people.
well,
And it's
and
just like,
it's
just do better, be better, quit dragging the world into your mess.
well,
Because
and
I'm
I'm
kind of done with
tired
it.
of everyone taking a side. I'm like, stop.
Right,
You don't
right.
have
Because
to. You can be in the place of, maybe they're both telling, I'm sure both of them are
right,
telling some part of the truth.
exactly.
Because
Right.
the truth tends to lie in between a couple of stories. Now, one may
Oh,
be more
absolutely.
truthful than another on a certain day
Yeah,
and back and forth
100%.
on another, but ultimately, they both are dicks to each other. Right, wrong, good, bad.
Right, yeah.
It, for whether it was, you know, excusable, like, well, he did these horrible things, so she was a dick back. I get that
Yeah.
mentality, but I'm also like, let's just stop taking sides and let them figure this out.
Because I feel
Because
like you said, like, none of us
none of our
are in that with
fucking
them.
business.
Like, none of us have witnessed that. We're only, his side of
Mm-hmm.
it, her side of it. That's really all there is. I
Yeah.
mean, like, the world is in it, and it's just like, why do we care so much
And everyone just
about
has an
this? I
opinion
don't
on it, and I'm like,
understand.
why do you have an opinion? You don't know them. They don't know
Right,
you.
right.
It's like, what? Stop.
Like, y'all are talking about these people like you text them all the
I
time, and that
know.
you've like heard all these things, and I don't know. But it's like it's not.
And like the sheer joy when there's someone on. I have both on Facebook. I have those who are like
Yes,
pro Amber Heard, and then I
I do
have
too.
those who are pro Gemini. And I'm like,
Yep.
they're like, caught her in a lie. There it is. And I'm like, dude,
Right.
you don't. Why do you care? Back
Right.
off. Calm the fuck down, okay? It's none
I
of
guess,
your business.
and I guess part of it might be because the world is basically on fire at this
It's fair.
point,
We got to find something to
and
care
it's just
about.
a way to get out
Oh,
of that.
is it is this just 2022's version of the dress? It's white and gold. No, it's blue and silver. And you're like, no, it's not. It's
Maybe,
obviously. Is
maybe
that
I
what
don't
this
know.
is?
But yeah, it's just I don't know. It's crazy. Crazy,
Boy.
crazy. But so yeah, that's my judge. I don't know.
I'm
I'm kind of
over it
over
too.
it. I'm
Uh,
done.
ugh. Well, and you
So,
can't not see it. We got a brand new TV for our makerspace so that we can do
ooh,
tutorials and things. It's very nice.
okay.
Um, me and one of my coworkers were making sure it worked. Turning it on
Oh yeah,
and making sure like we could get
as you
into
do.
YouTube easily. I mean, we
Oh
have
yeah.
an account, a channel, yada.
Hmm.
Um, and the very first video that it suggested was from the stupid trial, and I'm
Was
like,
it? Oh
and we were just
gosh.
like, oh God, isn't like there's
Like
literally a
why?
war happening in Ukraine. Can't we have that?
I know,
It's
right?
at least
Could there
telling
be
me
like a
something
news
helpful.
update or yeah?
Teach
Or
me
show
how
me
to make
videos of
soap. I
puppies.
mean, I don't care.
Right.
Yeah.
Like show me videos of
It's like, where's
puppies
the
or
cute
kitties or
cat
something.
videos? That's supposed to be
Yes.
everybody's favorite.
Right.
Like,
That's yeah.
yeah, I'm
So
here for
that's my
that.
judge. I'm just done. I'm over it.
That's an excellent judge. I like that.
No, so what are you judging?
So, this is secondhand information, which is my favorite
Ooh.
kind of
Yes.
information because you
Right.
don't actually know.
You're just like, this is what the person told me.
Yes. So on Sunday, I tend to call my mother to check in
Yes.
every week because I'm a good daughter, the favorite daughter. If anyone's listening, they're not, but just in case, I call every week. So there.
That's right.
Anyway, uh, Mom was telling me that she had been watching 60 Minutes,
Mm-hmm.
and like the first part of it was the story about how data mining is actually going to be able to prove Russia is committing war crimes. So I'm like, cool, cool, that's
Ooh,
cool. I'm here
cool,
for it.
cool. Yeah.
But the second part, because there's always a couple stories. So the second story was about this family in Virginia.
Carrie told me about this.
Oh God,
I know what you're talking about, and Carrie told
it's
me about
magical.
this.
So you have
It is
secondhand
magical.
story information too. I love it.
Yes.
Someone else watched
Yes.
this. I didn't watch this. No, who has time?
But I know where you're going. Okay, let's do this.
So it's a black family that lives in
Mm-hmm.
Virginia, and they've lived there for generations. And jokingly,
Carrie said they were a very
potentially,
large family.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
many like cousins and
yeah. I
grandchildren
think
and all
my
that.
mom
There
said
was
the same thing, that there were
a
several of them.
large,
It was a big family, and they did
yeah.
lots of big get-togethers and
Uh-huh.
things like that. Because my mom equated it to my dad's side of the family get-togethers
Yeah.
that I vaguely remember as little.
Mm-hmm.
So big happy family, good times. A big house in the area goes on sale, and one of the siblings of the matriarch, who's, as far as I can tell, is a matriarchal family,
Yeah.
grandma,
Mm-hmm.
whatever.
Yeah.
One of the kids, who they're all adults, tells her brother, who is living in California at the time and is an engineer, that he should buy it, and he's like, "What? I mean, whatever. Okay."
Right.
But it's
Yeah.
like it's a big house, and thought it would be good, like for the family, people can get together, live
Yeah.
together. I don't quite know where that went. We didn't get onto that part. But so he puts in
But it
an
was like a
offer.
place where like they all could travel to
Yeah.
and everybody could stay there for like
See,
the
there
big
you go.
family reunions and,
See,
any
I'm
kind
so
of like
glad.
giant family get-togethers. Yeah.
I'm so glad that Carrie watched this so we can both provide
I know.
information, because I'm like, it's not really the focal point of the story, but I'm glad. I'm glad.
Right, right.
But so he put in an offer, like he put in a little over asking price, but was truly astonished that his offer was accepted because he's
Mm-hmm.
black and it's Virginia and
Yes.
whatever you want to think, whatever. So he was surprised but happy. And so apparently, this house, very obviously, my mother said, because she knows these things, she's like, very obviously, it had to have been a plantation house. It's an old,
Well, and that's the
big, beautiful
way
house.
Carrie kind of put it. Was it
It's obvious.
like it was
Yeah.
obvious that it was
And so, like,
it had to have been,
yeah, and my family, every summer of my entire life, have gone, almost every summer, have gone south to spend a week at the beach, and we almost always end up at a plantation. Like, it's interesting, it's historical. We're history buffs.
I mean, even when we went to
So,
Virginia that one time
yep,
I went with you guys,
we
we
always
went to what was
gotta
it?
take you somewhere.
Tyler, John, was it
Gotta.
Sherwood Forest, John Tyler.
Oh, right.
Was that right? Because I remember we kept going Tippecanoe and Tyler too.
Yeah, but I was like, God, no, whatever his name is. Surely it wasn't Jonathan. That can't possibly be right. We had a president named Jonathan? No.
Is it John? No, something
No.
Tyler, James Tyler, Zachary. I don't know.
Zachary Taylor. Zachary Taylor. Had to be Taylor.
It wasn't
Tippecanoe and Taylor too.
Is it?
Yeah. I am so sorry to Roger Wright, my high school AP American history teacher. I have failed you.
I don't know.
Zachary Taylor. It's like Tyler. Tyler.
Hang on. We're just gonna
Google it. Do.
That's right.
Tippecanoe
I'm just like, my
and
brain is
Taylor
not
too.
working.
No, it's fair. But I couldn't immediately correct you. I just was like, we've not had a president named Jonathan. Come on.
No, I was right. Home of President John Tyler.
John. Okay. Well, John. I said
John Tyler. Yes. There's Tippecanoe and Tyler too. I'm pretty sure. Yes.
They're all the same now, but it's not Jonathan.
You were like Jonathan.
We've never had a president Jonathan. That's not real. Okay. John.
Just John Tyler. Zachary Taylor. I was correct. I
Yay,
remember.
Claire.
I passed the test. Oh my gosh.
Oy.
Anywho. Back to plantations.
Oh, so yeah, plantation. But so, needless to say, my mother has seen several plantation houses, and she was like, it was a plantation house. You could just look at
Yeah.
it and you're like, that's what this is.
Mm-hmm.
And so, he gets the house, and they're interested in the history of the house because they've only lived like a couple of miles away from this house, really, for their entire lives. It's always been around. And so, shock, surprise, they discover it was, in fact, a plantation house.
Yes.
Shock to literally nobody else because they're like, look at it. That's what it is. But
I mean, because I feel like all those plantation houses
they have
probably designed by the same person.
Well, I mean,
they all look so similar.
Because your ultimate goal as a plantation owner is to be like, I own this. This is mine. I'm rich. I'm white. I'm wealthy. Look at all of my columns.
Right. Yeah, because they all got the big columns. The more columns, the more wealth.
Right.
Something like that.
I have very fancy columns, so I'm extra wealthy, but whatever.
It's like, were they Ionic, or were they Doric, or were they Corinthian?
Ooh.
Come on, people.
You have options to prove your value.
That's right. That's right. If you're really fancy, you want the Corinthian ones.
That's right. Closer to Jesus that way.
That's right.
Okay.
It's been a long week, guys, and it's only Wednesday.
It's only Wednesday, damn it. Oh. But
yes,
so
plantation house.
they end up doing some research, and there is an old building on the property that someone that they had reached out to said they thought were old slave quarters, and so they're like, I mean, it's Virginia. They're bound to have been slaves. It's just border. It's the lines. It is. So they were doing some digging, and lo and behold, it turned out that their ancestors were slaves on that very plantation, which how
that's
creepy. Like
crazy.
I mean, like even saying it now gives me like not like the good kind of chill. It's like I'm just like
it's like
bleh.
a goosebumps. Yeah. Like what?
I mean, I love the symmetry of my family, we were slaves, now I own your damn house. That brings me joy.
Right. Like it came full circle. Because Carrie was saying, I don't know if your mom told you this, but there were like unmarked graves.
Yeah.
On the property that they were finding. And it was like, these are their ancestors buried in these like, or very generically marked graves, with just like a cross, nothing that was like enough to identify who was buried there. But I'm just like, that's kind of.
But the thing that my mother told me that this judge is about, and I don't know if Carrie mentioned this to you.
Okay.
I just don't know. What she saw was that the interviewer, I don't know who it is, was asking them, did you have any idea? Like, did you know that you had ancestors that were slaves? And they talked to, so it was it was like our age generation that had bought the house. Like late
30s, early 40s.
Yeah, right. So those were the kids. But so they asked like the grandmother or the aunt or someone who was in the oldest generation that they had, or someone who had talked to them. I don't quite remember, but essentially it was whoever they had spoken to. Their great grandmother had been born after the Civil War, and so she was the only one who would have who would have talked about it. No one ever talked about slavery. Slavery was never spoken. And so they went into this whole story about how from like the end of slavery until basically like our lifetime. Us. Slavery was not spoken, it was not mentioned, it was not talked about in schools, it was not talked about in the community themselves. Like Black people whose families were very obviously slaves at some point. Like it was never spoken in their families, it was never spoken out loud, it was taboo, not allowed to be talked about, and not because of, I got the impression from my conversation with my mother, not because they didn't want to pass on that information to their family, but because it wasn't okay for them to talk about it because the white man didn't want them to talk about it. And so it became
I
this
mean,
full
that sounds
circle.
fair.
Yeah. So it became this full circle conversation with my mother about how, but that's what's happening right now. That's what
Right.
people are fighting against. They don't want kids to learn about slavery and the reality of it and
Right.
enslaved people, that we did that, that our ancestors did that. And instead of
Right.
being fucking adults about it and going, you're right.
Right.
Every single culture in this world has something in their past that is shady and dark and bad, because people are
Right.
people. And it takes a long time to learn that something is wrong and to stop doing that. And that's just what progress is that's it's us constantly being able to go, hey, you know what? Turns out black people are people too. We should
Right.
probably not force them to work for us
Right.
and treat them like property. Oh, hey, women are actually people too. They should be
Right.
allowed to like vote and have
Make their
property
own decisions.
and be able to have a bank account without having a goddamn husband.
Right.
Oh, wait, gay people are people too. Turns out we should just let them marry whoever they want because it doesn't
Yes.
actually impact my life in any way whatsoever. So
Right.
it's those things that it's progress. And that's good, but you have to be able to talk about it. And
Yeah.
like
Well, because
coming
it's the only way you're
from
going to remember. If
mhm.
you don't talk about it, then you're going to forget where you came from,
Well,
which
and
is
it's
what I feel like is kind of happening now, is because they don't want us to talk about it because it's viewed as a sensitive subject. And it's like,
which
because, oh,
the
we might
hell?
hurt a kid, we might hurt some kids' feelings. I mean, I don't understand that. Like, I remember hearing, vaguely touching on slavery in elementary school,
Mhm.
vaguely. But it was like, it made me sad that,
Right.
it was like you felt like you could own somebody else and they didn't, as a kid, it didn't make me like feel bad because it wasn't something that I had done.
Mhm.
It made me feel sad that humanity used to be that way, but obviously it's not that way,
Yeah.
now when they're teaching it, and it was just kind of like, that's not right. We don't need to do that, as a small child before. But even like when
Right.
you get into high school and stuff, like there are things that I have learned now as an adult that I'm like, why the hell were they not talking about that in
Right?
high
I'm
school?
like, I was not given enough good, correct information to
Right.
become a good adult based on what high school taught me. And
Right.
it's not their fault. I understand that. Teachers, don't you dare
They
hear
yes.
that, because my mom is a teacher and by God,
Right.
she would smack me to my grave if I said anything else, cuz I know. I know
Right.
your hands
They're
are
not allowed to
tied.
yeah. It's all about testing and test scores and making the school look good. It doesn't have anything to do with, oh, let's prepare these kids to go out and be adults. Because when they graduate, technically they are adults
Yeah.
when you turn 18.
But
But it's
I
like,
mean,
I would much have rather like them taught me, yes, teach me about the evils of slavery and how bad it actually got with that what was that one where in Texas where they bombed that entire black community?
oh,
I can't think of the name of
yeah.
it. But that like the black Wall Street district.
Mhm.
Was it Greenwood?
I
Something like that.
honestly can't pull
Anyway,
that out of my head, so.
but didn't even hear about that until like a few years ago when it was like the 100th anniversary of it.
Mhm.
And I'm like, wait, this has been 100 years and nobody's talking about this. And then to hear, African American people say, I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
And that is what really shocked me too. And it's like, you need to teach about stuff like that.
We should not let people keep us from talking about the reality of the enslaved people that we had in this country and that it took a fucking war to make it stop. Like it
Right.
just and don't at me with the Civil War is really about states' rights. It was not. That's the
No.
lie that they fed us when we were growing up, and it's
Right.
not true. Except in the case that they wanted states to be able to have slavery if they wanted to. It was
Right.
100% about slavery. And I we got to keep talking about it. It's got to be something that we learn about and more information, because I grew up going to these plantations and being told the uttermost bullshit of, a lot of
Right.
these slaves were like family. And I'm like,
Yeah.
you don't make your family work for you 80 hours a week. You don't hit your
Right.
family when they do something not completely right. You don't take your family's child away and sell them to someone else because you don't want to deal with that. Like,
Right.
that's not
Well,
family.
not
So
only that, I
stop it.
remember them saying stuff like, oh, well, the majority of slave owners in the South, they were, they actually were really kind to their slaves.
Which I'm like,
I remember
again,
bullshit like that. And now I'm just like,
again,
excuse me?
if by
What?
kind you mean only raping them a couple of times, or making sure
Right.
that they had enough food that they could cook on their own for themselves after they'd cooked your big elaborate meals and taken care
Yeah.
of you. Okay,
Or,
sure.
or, or you'd hear bullshit like, well, the people who got free, or the free African Americans up north, the northern people treated them like trash. Some of the slaves down south had it way better off. And I'm just like,
And I'm
what
like,
is
I'm
this bush
yeah.
you are talking about? Because I mean, sure, as a kid, because that's like the first time you've heard it, and you think
Mhm.
adults are not going to lie to you about that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it's just like, okay, yeah.
But okay, but so ultimately that's my judge. Is this weird random conversation I had with my mother in which I learned, and I didn't mention this, that slavery was not talked about in the household by this family at all until Roots came out. Roots, which was the
Wow.
70s. So that's
Yeah.
when slavery was allowed to be talked about. And I am horrified. I'm disgusted. That wasn't really the point of the story, but that's where it went. And I just was like,
Yeah.
I hate that I live in a place that is so afraid of their past that they want to just sweep it under the rug and pretend like it never happened, instead of embracing it and being like, yeah, we've made some bad choices along the way. But now that we know we've made those bad choices, we can be better. We can try and do better
Right.
in the future. Anyway, well, Claire, this week
Yes.
we have a topic suggested by one of our longtime besties.
Yes. And listeners.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Christy Joe. And that topic is,
Weird and interesting facts about your state.
so Claire, tell me some
Yes.
weird and interesting facts about Kentucky. I might know some of them,
Um,
but I don't know.
I started to say think I knew the majority of these. There were some that I was like, hmm, yeah, didn't know that. So, for those of you who don't know, Kentucky's the 15th state. So,
Oh,
we used to be part of Virginia, and we didn't feel like we were being represented very well in the state. So, we broke off and made our own state,
it's fair. It's fair.
you know. So,
Mm.
anywho, so the first part of this I'm going to talk about because all of it has to do with horses.
Ooh, horse
Because,
theme.
yes, the first little bit of this. Because Kentucky, if you did not realize it, is the horse capital of the world.
Yes, it is. The whole world.
Specifically, Lexington. You might think Louisville because of the Derby, but no,
You'd be
it's
wrong.
Lexington.
Mm-mm.
Yes, because more money, don't know if you know this, more money changes hands over horse sales in Lexington than anywhere else in the world. Specifically at Keeneland, which
Ah,
is the world's largest and most prestigious thoroughbred auction company. So yeah, Keeneland.
I do
It's a
love
nice
Keeneland.
racetrack. It's fun
Um,
times.
it is fun. They also have a jockey diner. I don't quite remember what it's called, but it has really good breakfast. I went there once. That's all. There's my
I
helpful
did have
tidbit.
the one time I've been to Keeneland. It was fun times.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed it. Lexington was also the first city outside of Europe to host the World Equestrian Games that happened in 2010.
I remember that. That was really cool.
And also, Calumet Farm in Lexington has a record history of producing Kentucky Derby and Triple Crown winners,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
which has been unmatched worldwide. Any other like breeding farm for horses.
It's the
They have
limestone
10,
water. It makes them stronger.
right? They have 10 Kentucky Derby winners, and I don't know if that's counting this last one because I didn't look to
Oh.
see if the thing had been updated.
Oh, I don't
So
know.
it could possibly be 11
Hmm.
because these were. Oh, and before we get too far, I got my info from onlyinyourstate.com, kentuckytourism.com, movoto.com, and thefactfile.org.
Hmm.
But so it could possibly be 11 Kentucky Derby winners, 7 Preakness Stake winners,
Mm-hmm.
2 Triple Crown winners for the Colts, and 3 Triple Crown winners for the fillies.
Okay.
So
There you go.
that's a lot of winning horses.
You go, Phillies.
That's right. Get it. Oh, and I don't know if you knew this, Man of War, the horse,
Mm-hmm.
not the road.
Hate that road. Cool.
I know it's the worst road on the planet. It's the longest road on the planet. But Man of War, who was born in Kentucky and who is like this really prestigious racehorse,
Mm-hmm.
never actually ran a race in the state of Kentucky.
Oh. Huh. No, I don't
Right?
think I
I
knew
was
that.
like, that seems weird to me that would have happened. Let's see what else. Oh, jockey Oliver Lewis, who was the very first Kentucky Derby winner, was born in Fayette County, which is where Lexington is located. And so now we're going to talk Derby a little bit.
Ooh, talk Derby
Kentucky
to me.
Derby. Yeah, I know, talk Derby to me, right? Which happened a few weeks ago. Kentucky Derby is in Louisville. The very first one was May 17th, 1875. And it is the longest uninterrupted annual race,
Mm-hmm.
which it even happened in 2020, but they moved it. Because usually it's always the first Saturday in May.
Right.
But because COVID ruins everything, they
It
wound
was
up
in the fall.
moving it to
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I know. They moved it to September of 2020. So they did still have a 2020 Derby, but I don't think anybody was allowed
It's
to
like
go. It
nobody
was
was
just the
there.
horses.
Which I feel
Yeah,
like is the true way to find the winner. Who can run without, like, who can just run? Just run.
with nobody
Nobody's
like, yeah,
there. There's no.
right.
Mm-hmm.
And so the Kentucky Derby at one point was 1.5 miles, but now it's 1.25, and it's been that
Mm-hmm.
way for a while. And Secretariat still holds the record for 1 minute 59 seconds, point four.
It's the
So,
fastest 2 minutes in sports history.
yes. But yeah, Secretariat still holds that record. For all of you who are not Kentuckians, especially around the Louisville area, the more western side of the state,
Mm-hmm.
Derby is a season. It's not just a day, and it's a 2-week celebration and leading up to actual Derby. And the events up leading up to that include the world's largest fireworks show, which is called Thunder over Louisville.
Mm-hmm.
And they also have parades like the Pegasus Parade. That they have so many events going on. They have galas and all kinds of junk. I mean, basically the 2 weeks leading up to Derby, it's like just don't go to Louisville because I mean traffic is atrocious up there anyway. But it's like
I
really just don't touch it with a 10-foot pole.
I don't think I realized they had that many different things. Like I knew about Thunder and I knew that there were probably like parties and galas. I don't think I realized that it was that much in the 2 weeks though. Which cool. Good
Yeah,
for them.
apparently it's just like nonstop,
Hmm.
especially around Churchill Downs, that kind of thing. So, and some fun little facts: the typical Derby crowd consumes 120,000 mint juleps,
Oh God. I mean,
which is,
they're
for those of you who don't know, the mint julep is like the drink of the
it's
Kentucky Derby.
it's
That's like
fine.
it.
It's fine. It's
I
not
mean,
my
you can get
favorite.
other stuff too, but that's like,
But you're
you
not
know,
doing Derby right if you're not drinking the mint julep.
right, exactly. And they down 7,000 liters of bourbon.
Well, isn't that just every day?
Right, right. How many liters of bourbon are consumed in Kentucky? Right, I know.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that is my horse
Your
knowledge
horse
about
section.
Kentucky.
Ooh. Well, I mean
Yes.
that's the number one. Well, it's the second thing we're known for.
Right. I mean, well, I'm gonna go ahead and throw this out there. It's not on my list just because I think we grew up with it, and I just like I don't want to talk about it, but I'm gonna now anyway. Yeah, April and I are from the county where the original KFC is,
Mm-hmm. We sure are.
and for those of you who don't know, in London there is the Chicken Festival, the World Chicken
It's
Festival.
world famous. The world
Yes,
famous.
chicken.
Although I
Yes,
haven't met anyone outside that knows it, but whatever. The world
I know,
famous
right?
chicken festival.
Yeah, happens the like last full weekend in September.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big damn deal. Schools, you get out for school, they shut down Main Street. It's rides and booths, and it's a big fair type thing.
If you haven't
All the food
gone, you
trucks.
should go at least to get the funnel cake. That's the only reason I go anymore. I'm
Yes.
like, I want a funnel cake.
Yeah,
Mm.
definitely. But you can also lay your eyes upon the world's largest skillet.
Mm-hmm.
So, for those of you who didn't know about that,
There it is.
because Colonel's
The number
the
one thing people know Kentucky for.
right, KFC. You say Kentucky, that's immediately what they say. Kentucky Fried Chicken. You're like, yeah,
You're
yeah,
like,
yeah, whatever.
yeah, technically, yeah.
But anyway, but yeah, April and I are from the county where the actual restaurant is in Corbin, but Corbin already had their own festival called Nibrock, which is Corbin spelled backwards.
I thought it was reversed. I thought it was we took
I thought
World Famous Chicken Festival,
maybe
and because Corbin technically is 3 counties, because it's complicated.
yes, Corbin does span 3 counties.
So we were like, Colonel Sanders is in our county, so we're gonna
Right.
take it. But then
right.
we're not only we're gonna take it, but we're gonna put it in a different town because that town is the county
right.
seat. So that's how.
That's right.
Welcome
We're
to
the biggest.
Eastern Kentucky,
I
guys.
know.
It's magic.
Right. It's fantastic.
All right.
But
So
anyway,
what's next
so
on your list after horses?
yes. Okay. Richmond, Kentucky was almost chosen to be the nation's capital.
Oh God. Oh God. Oh holy God. Why? I mean, like, obviously it would have been huge and exploded and all of those things, but why?
It didn't say why, but it said why it wasn't chosen.
Because Hamilton and Jefferson had that secret conversation over dinner. I learned about it in Hamilton, so it's fine.
Right. No, because Washington D.C. was ultimately chosen because of its location to the nearby seaports.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a big factor to why Richmond was not chosen. I don't even know why it was a contender.
Yeah, such a random. Like I have not spent a lot of time in Richmond. It's the city you drive by to get to Lexington for me. Like no
right,
offense
yes.
to Richmond. That's just what it was.
I mean, there's a college there, but whatever.
It just it's whatever. It's fine. But
yeah.
Really, was that like the biggest city at the time? Like, is that? I'm just like, huh.
Yeah. It didn't
paint me perplexed.
I know, right? Like I was like, excuse me?
Like,
what?
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Why not? Some alternate timeline somewhere. April is like, I grew up just outside of the city capital or the nation's capital, right. And I'm like, oh God.
Right. Oh my gosh. Okay. So next little fact: Middlesboro is the only U.S. city that was built inside a meteor crater.
Oh. Did I know that? Oh, that's the one that floods all the time, right? They flood all the time. That's right. They have like the big the gated the walled city because they flood all the time, maybe. Because crater.
Yeah. So anytime we would go there to play sports, Dad'd be like, "Hey, you're gonna go play basketball inside a crater, right?" It's like, "Yes, Dad."
Oh,
yes,
Joe.
You've told us. You've mentioned that once or twice.
Oh, Joe. That feels true Joe Dad mode right there. I feel it.
It really is. Oh my gosh. Okay. Cumberland Falls is one of 2 places in the world where you can go see a moonbow.
You sure can. I mean, you have
if the clouds are cooperating.
If all of the stars have aligned and the moon is full and there's nothing else and it's dark enough and it's the right exact time, yes, you can.
Right. There are many factors, but it happens.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. Okay, Mammoth Cave
Yay.
is the longest cave system in the world and the second oldest national tourist attraction behind Niagara Falls.
Ooh, I did not know we were the second oldest. I do love me some Mammoth
Right,
Cave, though, man. It's some good times.
right. And it's more than 400 miles of cave system down there. So,
Oh, well.
fun times.
Don't get
Let's go
lost down there.
spelunking.
Don't get lost.
Right, right. Okay, in 1893, Louisville sisters Patty and Mildred Hill wrote the song Happy Birthday.
Oh, I think I did vaguely know that was from Kentucky, but I didn't know it was Louisville. But that's cool. Cool.
Yes. So Happy Birthday originated in Kentucky,
Yeah.
as did Mother's Day.
How
I saw
fortuitous.
two Yes, I saw two different names on this woman. One of them said Mary Towles Sasson, and then the other one said Mary Wilson. So I don't know
Hmm.
which one was correct, but from Henderson created Mother's Day in 1880s, and it officially became um, a holiday in 1916.
Nice. Very
So
nice.
Mother's Day also originated in Kentucky. I didn't know that
No,
one.
did not know.
Yes. Next little fact: the world's largest hand blown stained glass window is in Covington at the Cathedral Basilica of the Assumption.
That is a very specific thing.
Yes.
But
It is
okay.
it is 67 feet tall by 24 feet wide and depicts the Council of Ephesus. I have been there and it really is quite something to behold.
Huh.
I went there when I was one of my art field trips in college. It's fun times. But yeah, if you get a chance, just stop by, peek in. We The day we went, there was actually like a wedding rehearsal going on, so it was like, don't mind us, we're just here to take pictures. Of the
That's
window,
not awkward at
not
all.
the
Like,
yeah,
hey,
of the window,
can you
not the
move away
wedding
from
party.
the window?
Right. I mean, it's really big. You could just like go up and not catch anybody in it. But okay, let's see. Fort Knox houses the largest store of gold in the world, somewhere around 6 billion-ish dollars.
That's a lie. It was stolen and it's empty. There's nothing there.
Right, right. It's a ruse.
It is.
It's a
Mm-hmm.
red herring.
It is a red herring. Communism is a red herring.
It's a red herring. That's right. Okay. Kentucky has the most miles of running water, as in rivers, in the lower 48 states, and only Alaska has more
Well, I mean, it's
than we do.
fair. Alaska's huge.
Yeah.
So,
But I
like,
mean, the fact that we have
than
more
anybody else, we're like,
rivers, like,
yo.
right? Um, you will love this one. I didn't even know this one. Vent Haven Museum in Fort Mitchell houses the world's largest collection of ventriloquist dummies.
Ugh.
That sounds like my nightmare.
Oh my god. Why did anyone do that? Why would anyone be like, hey, you know what
Right.
we should do? We should
I feel like
build
it's
our
already possessed
ventriloquist
just by being
dummy
ventriloquist.
collection. Oh my god.
I know.
Ugh.
They're all possessed.
What?
We know they come
And
alive
you
at
know they
night.
talk. They talk.
Right.
And their mouths move and their eyes blink. No, absolutely not.
I know. It's like, no, thank
Absolutely
you.
not. Can't go
Like,
there.
nope, nope, nope. Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
Okay. The War of 1812, more than half of the deaths during that war were Kentuckians. 64%.
Wow.
I was
Really?
like, that's
That's
insane.
high. That's really high.
That's what I thought. I was like, that's crazy.
How? There's a whole bunch of other states, guys. What the hell?
I know, right?
Wow. Okay.
And
Wow. And we did not learn about
right.
the War of 1812 like at all, really. It's like, and then there was the War of 1812.
It was a blip.
Yeah. I was
Yeah,
like,
it's just like, this happened and
the king threw a tantrum and wanted us back, and there was a war, and then we
nah.
won, and we moved on. That's basically
Right.
it.
Because basically they're like, it was a short war.
Yeah.
So we're not really going to talk about it.
We
So,
won, so we don't care anymore. It's fine.
right.
Okay.
All right. Part of Kentucky is not attached to the rest of the state.
Mm-hmm.
17 square miles are on the Mississippi River connected to Tennessee, and this was part of a surveying error, apparently. And it's known as Kentucky Bend. Only 17 people live there, and it's a 40-mile drive to actually get to the rest of the state.
I don't know that I knew that. Like, I knew that it
No.
wasn't, like, connected, but I thought it was, like, you know, touchies. Like,
Yeah.
like it's like a road or something.
Right. 40 miles.
Wow.
Like, that's ridiculous.
17 people live in Kentucky that don't live in Kentucky. Okay.
Right. It's crazy. Let's see. All of the world's Post-it notes are produced in Cynthiana.
Did not know that either. Damn.
Yes.
I use a lot of Post-it notes.
Oh, I do too. We do at work. Yep. This one's kind of funny. In 1888, the Kentucky treasurer, whose ironic nickname was Honest Dick Tate.
Well, we know that can't be good.
Embezzled $247,000 and fled the state. He was never found, and the rest of his life is a total mystery.
Honest Dick.
And it's like, what? Sounds like a cartoon.
Life goals: embezzle that much money and then just bloop off and be like, my name's John now. Jonathan.
John,
my name's Jonathan now. Jonathan Tyler.
That's right. To confuse everybody.
That's right. That's fine.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Lexington has a Jif peanut butter production plant.
Yes, it does.
It is the largest peanut butter production plant in the world, and it makes 15 different types of peanut butter.
So good. I would sell my firstborn child, which I don't have, for peanut butter. Love peanut butter. Oh, it's so good.
Peanut butter is so good.
It's so nice. Like, I used to drive by, the Jif plant was near my library in Lexington, and I would drive by it, so I was like,
right.
Nuts.
Okay. And last, but most certainly not least, this is like one of my favorites because I didn't know this one either. Kentucky governors must swear an oath before taking office that they have never fought in a duel with deadly weapons.
So as long as it's Nerf guns, it's fine.
Yes.
So you can fight
never
in a
fought
duel. It just can't be
never
with...
fought in a duel with deadly weapons, and they still have to this day. Like, I'm like, oh, how very like Hamilton and Burr of you people. I know. But you know, it's like I was like, that
I don't
now? Like, you have to swear
I feel like
you've never fought in a duel with deadly weapons.
I feel like I need to know if there's a list of specific weapons that are considered deadly, because
right.
I mean,
I think maybe a Nerf gun could potentially be deadly.
I mean, if you hit the right spot, like, you know,
hard enough. I mean, yeah, that's like, I don't know.
It's just very specific. You can fight a duel, but it can't be with deadly weapons.
It'd be with deadly weapons. So, pool noodles. Yay!
Yay! I love it.
We can duel with pool noodles.
But once you've been sworn in, then you can, right?
Oh, I don't know about the
I don't know if
that. I don't know.
Maybe, I mean, the oath is you've never fought it, but that doesn't mean you can't fight one now. It's like,
that's right. You ever fought one up to that point?
It's like, and now I'm free to fight with the deadly weapons again. Yeah.
Right. So anyway, yes, those are some interesting facts about Kentucky.
I love that. I love that some of those I did not know. Like, some I vaguely kind of knew, but like some I had no idea. I'm gonna look at my Post-it notes from now on and be like, "You're from Kentucky," and pet it.
Right. It was like, even some of the horse ones, it was like, you know, Calumet Farm. Yeah. You're from here, you know it. But it was like, I didn't realize it was that, like, the specifics.
Right.
Of how many horses, you know, had won races from there, that kind of thing. So, anywho.
Well, other fun fact about Kentucky that I've noticed because I live on the other side of the country, guys. Like, almost as far away as you can get.
That's right.
But Amazon has a huge warehouse hub in Lexington because a lot of our Amazon packages come from Lexington, Kentucky, and it fucks my brain up every time I start opening them. I'm like, from Lexington? What the? Oh, right, Amazon.
You're like, somebody sent me a package.
I'm like, who's sending us stuff from Lexington? Like, oh, right, Amazon.
Right. So yes,
That was
There y'all go.
fantastic.
Facts you didn't know about your state.
That was
Thank you,
fantastic.
Christy Joe,
Yes.
for your write-in. We appreciate that.
Absolutely. I had no idea. And thank you, because I learned so much about my home state now, because I am like, I don't know a whole lot
You're
about
probably like,
Washington. I was like,
you're like, I know nothing.
like Starbucks was invented here. Woohoo!
Right, right.
But so yes, I guess it's my turn now. So I'm going to bring
Yes.
you some interesting facts of Washington. I have titled, because I make notes, and I have titled my notes "Weird Washington."
Weird Washington. Okay,
Because
so just weird.
oi.
Oi.
Oi! I love it. I love
Right.
it. It's a great place. So I got all of my information from 50states.com, the madronagroup.com. No idea what that is, but Mental Floss.
Right. Yes.
Some Wikipedia action, because I had to look up some stuff further to be like, what now are you?
Like, what is it? What
is this
mean?
that you're referring to? And
right.
the National Parks Organization. So thank you. Thank you for all of your informations. Now, Washington is one of the last states to join the United States and the contiguous lower 48, yada, yada, blah, blah, blah. But maybe what you didn't know is that before Washington was named, they originally were going to call it the Columbia Territory. Because I don't know why.
That sounds very Canadian.
It's fair. There's a lot of Canada here where we literally touch each other.
That's right.
We touchies. In fact, we touch more in Washington. We border our borders touch Canada more than it does the rest of the United States. We have a giant freaking river, so it cuts us off a lot. But it's fine.
Yeah,
it's fine. But so originally it was going to be called Columbia, but when they were realizing that eventually this territory was going to become a state, they decided they should probably call it Washington, and they did this for two reasons. One, to honor the first president of the United States, which, yes, and in fact, we are the only state named for a president.
Whoop, whoop.
What? Number two, the number two reason they named us Washington was they wanted to differentiate us from the District of Columbia. LOL. Because, as you know, everyone calls that Washington now. And so anytime I Google anything related to my state, I have to Google Washington State.
State, yeah.
And I'm like, why don't they have to add DC to theirs? God damn it. It makes me crazy.
Yeah.
But here's a fun fact.
I feel like most people, though, you hear people talk about, it's either, I feel like they either say Washington or DC, like in the DC area, you know, but like everybody knows DC.
If someone is talking Washington in Kentucky, they're talking Washington, D.C., more likely.
Usually, yes.
So
and I did confusing. When I went to visit you, I would have to tell people like, oh, I'm going to go visit a friend in Washington.
Yeah.
And they would be like, oh yeah, well I went, and I realized that they're talking about Washington,
and
D.C.
you're
and I'm
like,
no, Washington State.
The state of
Washington. Then I just got to where I'm like, yeah, I'm going to see my friend April in Washington State. Like it was just, so just started having to say that.
If we had just been Columbia, we would have been Columbia, the state of Columbia, it would have been better. We just gotten confused with the country. No big deal.
Right.
But here's the fun fact.
Right.
It was actually Kentucky Representative Richard Stanton that thought Columbia was too similar to District of Columbia. So the Kentuckian was the one that was like, no. Let's not do that.
Right.
So here we are. The state of Washington. And if you've never been here, all of our state roads, they have the silhouette of Washington. Like it's like
they do
behind it. So it's like Washington silhouette, and then it's the number of the state road. You're like, what the heck? It's right, Washington. I get it. One of my favorite random fun facts I found: the state of Washington has the highest percentage of non-religious people of any state.
Ooh.
Church membership in this state is also the lowest of all of the states.
Interesting.
I know. It's like I've accidentally stumbled into the magical land where not everybody goes to church. In fact, most people don't go to church. Mm-hmm. And today feels like the perfect day. For those of you listening, we are recording on May 18th. And that is important because on May 18th of 1980, Mount St. Helens blew its top. So today is actually Mount St. Helens Day.
Woo!
What? So I'll tell you a little bit about it because it's fascinating. So
Yes.
1980, March 20th, a 4.2 earthquake occurred. And it started things are rumbling in Mount St. Helens. She got a little antsy by
Was it a big earthquake?
4.2,
Okay.
medium, middle.
I mean that. Yeah.
Earthquakes over here are common. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Um, a week later, steam venting started. It started steaming at the top and venting out, and
Uh-oh.
people were like, ah. By the end of April, the north side of the mountain has started to bulge, which is not a good
Ooh.
sign. And I'm trying to figure out what the hell that looks like. How does a mountain
Right?
bulge? But so like everyone knew an eruption was imminent. It's going to happen.
It's because of the steam and
So
the
they had, actively tried to get people out of the area. There's a story about this crazy old coot whose name I've already forgotten because it's locals that tell me this. I don't remember.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
refused to leave, and he didn't make it because on May 18th we had a second earthquake. It was a 5.1, and
Oh,
that
okay.
triggered the eruption. And it didn't. Everyone thought it was going to go poof like a normal volcano, go whoosh right up into the air, and that's not what happened.
Yeah.
Instead, it blew out the side.
Oh, okay.
So that's why it's flat now, is because it blew out the side and it all crumbled out. And it triggered the largest known debris avalanche in recorded history.
Now that's probably that's what was
That's actually
causing
what
this
that's
damage,
what killed
right?
everyone and caused the damage. So,
That's what. Okay.
um, of course, that triggered a magma release, and the magma
Mm-hmm.
flowed, and it flattened vegetation and buildings for over 230 square miles.
Oh my gosh.
But it was mixed with all the ice and snow because it's cold.
Yeah.
There's snow on top all the time. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it mixed with the ice and snow and water in the area. We have lots of rivers and things here as well. And so that created these volcanic mud flows. There's just
That
gross,
sounds gross.
muddy things of there's some
Yeah.
lava, there's some mud, there's some
That sounds awful.
picking up everything it came with, and those mud flows destroyed bridges, lumber camps, and eventually flowed into the Columbia River, which is me. It's like, hi,
Right. Like
I'm
right
right there.
outside your
It's right
door,
here.
just
Mm-hmm.
about. Yep.
Um, when it did erupt, there was an ash plume for over 9 hours.
Oh my gosh.
And in the end, it killed 57 people. They estimated it killed about 7,000 big game, like deer and elk and bear.
Mm-hmm.
12 million fish were killed in a hatchery.
Oh my
It destroyed
gosh.
200 homes and over 185 miles of highway.
Wow.
And in the end, because it blew out the side and fell down and yada yada, it lost 1,131 feet of its peak. It's just gone. Isn't that insane? I'm like, that's a
Wow.
lot of
That's
mountain to
crazy.
just
I
come
never knew
crashing
that. Yeah.
down.
Right. Yeah.
Um, so it continued to be active, steaming and spewing plumes of ash now and then for like the next 20 years, which I didn't realize that.
Oh, I didn't.
But
Yeah.
it kept rebuilding its lava dome inside, so it's like
Mm-hmm.
solidifies or whatever. So
Mm-hmm.
because it has rebuilt it so much, the next time it blows will be even worse
Oh.
because it will
Okay. So
require
it is still
yeah,
active.
oh yes,
Okay.
because it will require more pressure to break through that the new lava dome. So
Okay.
it'll be even worse because
Sweet.
fun fact, Washington is in the Ring of Fire.
Yeehaw.
Yeehaw. So, uh,
Can I sing the song to you?
oh God, fine. This is for you,
uh,
Christy Joe.
just because April
I
hates
hate
this
it so
song
much.
so much. She hates it with every
It's such a
fiber of her
stupid,
being.
terrible song.
I fell into a burning ring of fire. I went down, down, down. The flames went up higher. Burns, burns, burns. The ring of fire. The ring of fire.
Yep. Well, in
She
fact,
loves that song with
every
every ounce of her being.
every mountain over here is actually a volcano. So Mount Rainier is volcano, Mount St. Helens is volcano, Mount Hood is a volcano. It last had activity in the early 1900s, but they're all just
Man, because you all are like right next to
oh,
Mount
and
Hood. I
Mount
mean,
Adams
that's
that
like
we
right there.
actually are next to
Yeah.
Mount Adams. It's right there.
Yeah.
So we're in between Mount Adams and Mount Hood. They're both
Hood, yeah.
active volcanoes. They're just not currently doing stuff, but
Gotcha.
big enough earthquake, which we're doomed for, because that's my whole life. Wherever you live, there's an earthquake. We're overdue, no matter where you are. So
yeah,
they'll all erupt and it'll be bad. But that's the fun times of Mount St. Helens on Mount St. Helens Day. You're welcome.
Yay!
Are you ready for my next section?
I am. Let's do it.
This is a section of weird things that are illegal in parts or all of the state of Washington.
Illegal, okay.
For example, in the town of Everett, it is illegal to display a hypnotized person in a store window. I really want to know why. There's gotta be a story. I couldn't find it. I was like, but
right? Like,
but
what
why
happened?
this very specific thing? This is
right.
very specific.
That reminds me of the time that you got hypnotized when we went on that cruise.
Yes, that was fun.
And that was the fun. I swear, I've never laughed so hard in my entire life. I was like literally on the verge of getting ready to pee my pants. I was laughing so hard. I mean, it was my face hurt. And I had a headache from laughing so much.
I'm happy I can entertain you, even in your
I know
memories.
it was because y'all, they had her like act like she was a pussycat doll. They played the song and she was like up there dancing like a pussycat doll for like the video. Oh gosh, fun times. That's why they hypnotized. That's why I just like, because I just imagine when you said hypnotized person, I imagined you hypnotized in a window.
I would not be allowed to be in a store window in the town of Everett while I was hypnotized.
That's right.
In the entire state of Washington, it is illegal to paint polka dots on the American flag.
I feel like that's anywhere, but
they're just
polka dots. That's weird.
It's they're taking an extra step. They just really don't like polka dots. That just it bothers them.
That's an odd thing. Okay.
This one's my favorite, and I'm gonna start using this every time I don't want to go to work.
Okay.
It is against the law to walk about in public if you have a cold.
Ooh.
We were totally on the whole don't be passing your crap around wagon long before there's a pandemic.
Right. They're like, stay at home, wear masks, way before it was cool.
It's also illegal to pretend one's parents are rich.
What?
I mean, obviously someone got taken in and like, I thought you lied. Your parents were rich.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
And
the fact that they would like make it like a law. It is illegal.
You can't lie about that. Guys, my parents are not rich, so it's fine. We're fine.
That's funny and crazy at the same time.
In Seattle, this is my favorite. In Seattle, it's illegal to carry a concealed weapon that is over 6 feet in length. How the hell do you conceal it at that point, guys? I don't understand. It's not concealed. You can't possibly. I mean, outside of like a handful of basketball players, who can carry a concealed?
I start to say,
it's 6
I
feet
myself
long.
am 5'10". I mean, the average person, I feel, the average male is what, like 6 feet?
Maybe.
I mean, that 5'10" to 6 feet, that's average. I mean, Yeah, where are you going to stick that?
Where are you going to stick that? Yeah.
I mean,
So I'm like, the hell kind of a law is this? I don't. All right. All right.
that's strange. Mm-hmm.
So those are some
Strange.
things that are illegal here. So don't be painting those polka dots on your flag and pretending that your parents are rich. By God.
Right. Don't be lying.
And don't have a cold while you're doing it.
Right. Right.
Okay, so this will be nice. Kind of a callback to an earlier episode. On
Okay.
July 4th, 1947,
Mm-hmm.
Frank. Now, this is where I'm not sure. I think it's Lyman, but I've somehow typed Flyman, so I don't know. It's either Frank Flyman or Frank Lyman. It's been a week, guys. I'm sorry.
Right.
But Frank, we'll go with Frank. Frank, who was an off-duty U.S. Coast Guard, snapped the very first photograph of an alleged flying saucer.
Which was not really a sauce.
That's right. As we know.
Right.
Also related, Washington has the highest number of UFO sightings per capita.
Really?
Yeah, we're super. They come here. We got
That's
a lot of
interesting.
empty land, so they can kind of fly around without being too
It's that
noticeable.
Space Needle. That's what it is. Your Space Needle.
Well, it's because it is a flying saucer. Duh.
I know.
Duh. Come on, you've seen Men in Black, you know.
That's right.
And also space related, the lunar rover was made by Boeing here in Seattle.
Ooh.
I know. Also in Seattle is Pike Place Market, very popular tourist destination. Definitely should go for a visit. Lots of food. It's like a giant farmer's market, but also lots of like food booths and little restaurants here and there, and you can so much good stuff there. And random things are for sale. Like it's just a giant magical place.
Mm-hmm.
But it is said to be the most haunted place in Washington.
What?
I know.
Where all these people are getting their food?
Well, you know, it's been around for all eternity as far as I can tell, so.
Gotcha. Still, sounds like a place I should visit sometime.
So, World War II.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that south of Seattle there was a secret bomber making factory? Because Boeing's here.
Yes.
In order to conceal it, because West Coast is really incomparably close to Japan.
Yeah. Right, yeah.
So in order to conceal it, Boeing camouflaged it by covering it with a fake neighborhood created by a Hollywood set designer.
What?
Yep.
I love that so much.
It included fake houses. They had fake trees.
I love that so
much. They had
much.
artificial sidewalks. It's like, the heck, man?
That's...
Isn't that amazing? I love that.
I love that.
I love that so much.
I think that's my favorite thing about what you've been telling me so far. That's fantastic.
It's like, yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome. I love it. Way to go, Boeing. I'm here for that.
And, you know, you were telling me about Mother's Day being invented in Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
Father's Day was invented in Washington.
Shut up.
I know.
Yes.
It's like the synchronicity of the universe is lining up.
That's why you were like, oh.
I was like, oh, wow. That's so. And then I was like, don't say it yet, April. Save it. Save it for the. For
that's
later.
amazing.
It's like,
that is amazing.
It was created by Senora Smart Dodd, who wanted to find a way to honor her father, who was a Civil War veteran. And he was also a single parent, a single father, who raised 6 children. I mean, it took a long time before it became a national holiday, but it started here.
Yeah.
What?
That's crazy.
I know.
I love it.
Like,
that's so funny.
There are 50 states, guys. How'd we do this?
I know, right?
It's magic.
And we're in the 2.
We did it! Have you heard about the Pig War?
What? No. The Pig War.
The Pig War. Very famous war.
I have not.
It's just as important as the War of 1812.
Is it? Okay.
So when, Lord, so territories, there's all sorts of people who claim different areas of territories,
Mhm.
yada yada yada. There's an
Yeah.
area off of Washington called the San Juan Islands, not to be confused with
Mhm.
San Juan, Puerto Rico. I don't. I have no idea. I don't. I just live here.
Right.
So it's a cluster of islands that is in a channel, and so when they were kind of divvying stuff up, because we have British Columbia above us, so England still owned
Mhm.
that. They're still up in Canada then. Still sort of are. It's complicated. They're, I don't know, stepchildren removes. I don't. They're Canadians, but they still love England, but they have their own stuff. It's complicated. Um,
Right.
but anyway, still British, and so the I don't remember who decided. Someone decided that in the channel, in the strait or whatever,
Mhm.
that would be the middle of the channel, would be the dividing line. Everything above it, British. Everything below it,
Was
United States.
okay. Gotcha.
Except it wasn't one channel. It was really two, because you have like
Okay.
two straits, and then the San Juan Islands were right in the middle, and so it's like, well, those are ours. No, those are ours. Back and forth, yada yada yada. People are angry about it. So there were United States citizens, and then there were British citizens that were inhabiting the same islands, and they were arguing about it, whose it is, who's got to leave, blah blah blah. And one United States citizen shot a pig because it was rooting through his garden and destroying his garden, and so he shot it.
Mhm.
But it belonged to the British, and it
Oh.
became a whole big thing, Claire. Like, it became a big fucking
Because
thing.
he killed a pig that was
Right.
tearing
So,
up his
like,
garden. Okay.
like, all these people were being brought in to, like, different signs. There's, like, building up the military, or the British military, and building up the American military. And I'm like, it's a pig. It's because it
This
should.
sounds like a fancier version of Hatfields and
Yeah,
McCoys.
kind of. And so, like, it became like this whole big thing, and it went on for a long time, and eventually they had to get the Archduke in Germany
What?
to make the
Oh my
decision. Like,
gosh.
they tried to, like, it was like another 12 years of this back and forth ridiculous nonsense, and it was a really long explanation that I was like, I don't want to get into all this. This is absolutely ridiculous. Because it started with the pig, and that's where it all started.
Right.
And 12 years
That's
later, the
nuts.
Archduke was like, all of San Juan
Like
is
I'm
the
done.
United States, so we're done now. And everybody was just like, okay. I don't know why he decided. It didn't really explain that, but
That's yeah. Like why
everyone
were
was just
you
like, that's fine. We'll go with that.
asking somebody from Germany? Like that's odd.
I, I'm sorry.
That's weird.
Have you been? You've been to the Pacific Northwest. We're weird because our
Yeah. Yeah.
history is so much shorter than the east side of the United States. And so, like, everything had to
Right.
happen in a smaller amount of time, and it was like all the crazy things
Gotcha.
happen here. It's good times.
Yeah. Like your all's history doesn't go back to like
No, it
1700s.
does not. We were not considered to be a place for the nation's capital.
Right.
Which brings me to the bizarrely high number of serial killers that have come from
Right. I wondered if you
Washington.
were gonna like bring that up
I'm not
because
gonna go hardcore into them. I'm just gonna be like, but
like
just so
name
you
some of
know,
them.
Kenneth Bianchi, who was the hillside strangler with his buddy, it's complicated
Mm-hmm.
too. A lot of them were in California, but two of those murders occurred here in Washington. But so, thanks.
He
He
traveled.
traveled.
Gotcha.
Um, my personal fave. That sounds wrong, but the one of the most fascinating serial killers to me, Ted Bundy. What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
And his ridiculous spree of insanity.
Right.
We also claim Gary Ridgway, the Green River Killer,
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Robert Lee Yates, who doesn't have a fancy name, This one was interesting. Warren Leslie Forrest, who was actually responsible for 2 murders that originally Ted Bundy was blamed for.
Oh, wow.
Because there was always like 2 or 3 happening at the same time.
Right, yeah.
And then
Can't keep
there,
them straight.
are unsolved ones, and there's a lot of ones there. But one of the more infamous ones is the Tube Sock murders, which is a set of
What?
unsolved homicides that took place in Washington in the mid 80s, when serial killers run rampant.
Right.
Uh,
70s and 80s. Magical time
well,
for
and
serial
also
killers.
now, it depends on who you're listening to. There seems. Washington is fun. So 60% of the population of Washington, this isn't in my notes, but I just know this.
Yeah.
60% of them live in Seattle, or like that area around Seattle. So there's only
Okay.
40% of us in not
In the
Seattle.
rest of the state.
In not Seattle. And it's a really big state,
Yeah.
guys. We're huge. And
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
have a lot of thankfully protected forest areas. Because, Sasquatch gotta have a home, guys. They gotta.
That's right. That's right.
But so there's just a lot of places to hide a body and abduct people. And
Right.
it's just.
That's what I was thinking.
Mm-hmm.
What you were talking about, like a lot of forest areas. One thing I did come across in the Kentucky one is that 50% of Kentucky is forest.
Nice.
So, I mean, there's a lot of places here to hide a body too.
Mm-hmm.
And Sasquatch. But that's one of the things I think of when you mention Washington is it's just like serial killers because there is so much. And even like we were talking about Sasquatch and the pot farms,
Mm-hmm.
going up into the mountains and stuff like that. I mean, there's just so much area that you're just like, yeah, we can hide a body
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
Nobody's ever gonna
Yeah,
find that. Never, ever, ever.
well, and everything is a mountain. It's hard to hike up a mountain, guys. It's tedious.
Yeah,
It's a lot of up.
right.
But so those are some of our serial
Some,
killers.
right. Just a few.
Just a sampling. Okay. The Kennewick Man. The skeletal remains of the most complete ancient human skeleton ever discovered was found in Kennewick, Washington.
Interesting.
I know, right? The whole land bridge thing, people coming over, hanging out here, good
Right.
times in
Yeah.
the old days. I was like, oh, and a couple of college students found him. Like, it was like,
Oh, just
oh,
randomly.
found this guy. Oh, look. Okay.
Interesting.
Just a random fun fact. Longview, Washington is home to several bridges that were built just for the squirrels.
Yes. Squirrels need
They
bridges
do.
too. I love it.
I could only
I love
find
when people do things like that. I love it.
I could only find the name of the first bridge. It's called Nutty Narrows.
I love it. I love those
Squirrel
kinds of
Bridge.
facts. Those are fantastic.
My very last one is
Yes.
that Washington is home of the Northwest tree octopus.
Say what?
Yes, it is. The Northwest tree octopus is an endangered species of cephalopod. That's what octopi are, right? Cephalopods.
Yeah.
Its Latin name is Octopus paxar. I can't do Latin. Basically, it's octopus Pacific tree. So Pacific tree octopus. It's not really clever. But it is this weird species of octopus that can live on both land and in the water. I didn't send you pictures, but here for everyone, here's a picture of the Northwest tree octopus. It lives here in the Olympic National Forest and around some of the nearby rivers, where it spawns its eggs in the water, and I guess they hatch and become tree octopi. Its major predator is a real problem because they're a bit endangered these days. The main predator of the Northwest tree octopus is the Sasquatch.
Stop it.
So this was a huge internet hoax back in
Stop
I
it.
don't, 90s to
Once you said
2000s.
that, I was like, shut up.
I was trying so hard. I was like, trying to sell it. Because...
You were totally
Thank
selling
you.
it. And then when you said Sasquatch, I was like,
I know, that's right. It's like,
you.
And this was an internet hoax. It was used to teach children digital literacy, to be able to understand that not everything online is a reliable source.
Yes.
And I'm like,
right.
There's some great pictures that I'm going to send. It's great.
Well, I mean, just you talking about it. Like, I was in it.
I know.
I was like, tell me more.
I'm giving you the Latin name for it. I'm telling you how it lives its little lives. I know. But it was a super popular... I wondered if you might have accidentally come across it because internet hoaxes.
I have never heard of that.
Yes.
No.
And I vaguely... when I first read it, it was talking about it, and it didn't tell me it was a hoax. I was reading it. It was like, I feel like I remember this being not real. It's like a vague tickle in my brain. It's like, I don't... and once I...
No, I'd never heard of it.
I think I saw this at some point in maybe like a communication class or something.
Okay,
but so I wanted to end my with weird Washington facts with the Northwest tree octopus. To teach all of you a lesson in digital literacy, and you should always check your sources.
Right. I'm really sad that that's not real, though.
I know.
I was in it. I was like, this is fascinating.
That is amazing.
I want to see a photo.
I want a photo of a tree octopus.
And then when you were like, its enemy is the Sasquatch.
Well, and I was like,
oh, boo.
I had to like
Bush.
I waited to the very end. I was like, it's a real problem. It's a little bit endangered. It's hard to survive when your predator is the Sasquatch.
I was like, Bush.
And so
that was fantastic.
There you have it. Thank you again, Christy Joe, because that was so much fun to look up all these ridiculous things about Washington. We also, in case you want actual real information, we are the #1 producer of apples. We grow more apples here than anywhere. All of your apples, they come from us. You're welcome. Also cherries and all that other stuff. But...
for all you people out there, apples are the superior fall flavor.
It's correct. I actually bought an apple today at the farmer's market. I'm like, apple? I don't care if it's from last season. I want this now.
Come at me, bro. Apple is the superior fall flavor.
So that was amazing.
That was fun times. I enjoyed that.
Which means that now it's time for...
Tarot time with April.
Spooky.
It's going to be fantastic. Because this week has already been like, oh God, I'm exhausted.
Boy, right? God. These cards are just like being like, it's bad. You're going to think you're doing better, but then it's not. And you're just going to be like, oh, fine, whatever. I quit. That's been my week.
Right, I know. It's just like, oh, man.
All right.
And, I mean, that's a big stack of cards. And I feel like we've drawn...
We have a lot of repeats, I know, right?
3 times, and I'm like, there are like obviously several that we have never drawn.
And guys, I don't know how to stack the deck, or I would stack it in like the best cards ever. To be like, please.
Right.
All right. Are you ready?
Yes.
Tell me when to stop.
I mean, let's just avoid the 3 of Swords because we've had that like 3 times now.
Mixing up all the cards, doing some squidgies and some. And then I'll just do like a this and like a this. So you can't be like, April, you just keep piling them around on top of each other. No wonder you keep getting the same cards.
Stop. Stop.
I'll have you guys know, I shuffle these cards not on screen. When in between recordings, I shuffle them. So there. Okay. Tarot time with April.
She likes to practice her shuffling skills.
What the hell? It's not the 3 of Swords.
Please, no. I'm done with that card.
But it's my birth card back. Temperance has returned.
Yeah, that was like...
We've had this at least 3 times now. Oi.
I've got it twice, I think. Yeah, this is the 3rd, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh boy.
Uh-oh.
The Fool. Reversed.
The what?
The Fool.
Fool.
F-O-O-L. And...
Fool inverted.
Mm-hmm. And then 8 of Pentacles inverted.
8.
So we're going to refresh our memory on Temperance, which is a fine card. It's one of my birth cards. It's fine. It's not exciting, but it's fine.
I don't think we've drawn any of my birth cards.
No. You can't have things.
No, apparently not. What's your other birth card?
What's it called in this one? The Hierophant. I thought this was called.
Okay.
Temperance is bringing balance, patience, and moderation into your life. You're being invited to stabilize your energy and to allow the life force to flow through you without force or resistance. It's time to recover your flow and get your life back into order and balance. It's fine. It's good.
Yes. Let's get our life back into balance.
That's fair. Actually, thank you. Thank you, cards, for giving me some temperance because I need some balance in my life. Lord.
Right.
Lordy. The Fool. I feel like we've had this before. Well, maybe I've drawn this for myself and not for us.
I don't know. I don't think we've had that.
This is the beginning of your journey. The Fool starts his new path with innocence and optimism. He is boundless, carefree, and full of energy. Follow your heart and have faith in the universe to provide. Expect new doors to open and new opportunities to arise. Go forth and expect the unexpected. As you undertake this new journey, the Fool encourages you to have an open, curious mind and a sense of excitement. Throw caution to the wind and be ready to embrace the unknown, leaving behind any fear, worry, or anxiety about what may or may not happen. But it's reversed, so it means recklessness, naivety, distribution, this word, carelessness, apathy, disregard for consequences. Well, I'm there.
She's already there.
I'm already there. Lord, help me.
Lord.
And then we end with the 8 of Pentacles. Reversed.
Reverse, yeah.
A card of hard work, diligence, and learning new skills. You may be undergoing some changes in your work or education, all for the sake of improving your circumstances for the better. But it's impatience and perfectionism and lack of ambition on our part, so okay.
Yay!
Getting things back in order just to have them out.
Right.
Cool.
Let me give you some balance and then jerk it back up from under you.
And then be like, but it's not going to work out for you. Come on, Zen
Right.
Kitty. You're supposed to be giving me some good Zen here. It's because I accidentally dropped him.
No.
And dropped him when I put him on the table. It's bad. It's fine. Well, there you have it, folks.
Right.
May your weeks be just as sort of okay, but not amazing. A lot of
not great, not terrible.
A lot of apathy and disregard for the consequences, which maybe that's better. Maybe it's better to have a little apathy and be like, whatever, that's fine.
Right. Oh my goodness.
So Claire, what is going to be the topic of our next episode? What will the Wheel of Fate bring us this week?
Right.
You ready?
Yep.
Wheel
of
Fate.
Oh. Harry Potter.
That's so wonderful because I'm actually finally working on my Harry Potter fandom day at work. I'm so excited.
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter.
For those of you who don't know, April and I are huge Harry Potter fans.
Yes, we are. Not J.K. Rowling fans. Don't hear that. No.
No.
But you can enjoy the art without liking the artist.
Indeed.
So, yay! It'll be fun.
Harry Potter.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us on this magnificent episode where we learned that Jonathan Tyler is not the president, but John Tyler was. That's fine. There's never
Tyler.
A Jonathan. I'm sorry. There isn't. It's fine.
Oh my gosh.
So,
anywho,
at least you learned that very
I remembered correctly, and then I doubted myself. Oh my gosh.
All right. Well, until next time, you can find us on all of the things, on all of the places, at all of the time at
Brunch and Judge.
And you can send us emails with more fun topic ideas and send us any stories that you might want to share with us. And you can send those to us at
brunchandjudge.com.
That is
No, no, no,
incorrect.
no. That is incorrect. Don't listen to me. It's been a day. Brunchandjudge at gmail.com.
That's correct.
That's the email. The other's the website.
That's right.
There's a difference, Claire. Get your shit together.
That's fine. It'll all work out in the end, right?
I know, it's fine.
All right, so until next time, keep on brunching.
And keep on judging.
Bye.
Bye.
I'm gonna stop the record now. Gonna stop the record now.
Brunch and Judge. Brunch and Judge. We brunch and judge everything and give you opinions that nobody asked for.
Sleep. High school is stupid and pointless. Oh, you don't use your biology every day? No? No? Huh. How about that Latin you took? Oh God. Instead of having to learn that shit on my having to learn that shit on my own's hard. I'm like, why does my uterus hurt? Why do I think I'm dying? Is this death? Okay.